UFC Fight Night Della Maddalena versus Prates on May 2nd, 2026 at the RAC Arena in Perth, Australia. I didn't watch the prelims, I didn't have time this morning, but we did watch the main card, and first up on that main card, Tai Tuivasa versus Louis Sutherland. When this fight was announced, I genuinely did not know what we had done to deserve this monstrosity. I don't think either of these guys should actually be employed, and my first note of this fight is hopefully the loser has to go clean up on aisle 3. And you know what? The winner should be putting the fries in the bag as well. They touch gloves to start. Tai takes centre, Sutherland lands low and then shoots, and the crowd boos. Tai stuffs the takedown, Sutherland misses the low kick, spinning back fist, and this time Sutherland does get the takedown. Tuivasa is able to get back up, lands a nice elbow off the break. Sutherland hit Tai with a spinning elbow and a knee. I shit you not, I thought that was going to be it. I was hoping that was going to be it. Not that I want Louis Sutherland to win, I'm not really his biggest fan, but just so that this would be over. I genuinely thought Tai Tuivasa was about to get knocked out there, but they end up doing the fat man roll and Sutherland ends up on top of Tai to close out the round. Effectively nothing else happened. 10-9 Sutherland. Into the second, Sutherland, low kick, takedown attempt, down for a second, back to the feet, down for a second, back to the feet, and then down again for minutes on end. The referee has to warn Sutherland for stalling 3 times as the crowd chants, "Stand them up." That tells you all you need to know about this, seriously. After 3 warnings, Sutherland then transitions to mount. We aren't getting stood back up, folks. A pathetic arm triangle attempt. This is one of the most boring rounds I've ever seen. Tai gets back to the feet, gets taken right back down. What else do you expect? Both these guys suck ass, and the round ends with another shit submission attempt by Sutherland. The crowd boos again at the end of the second. Into the third, and they promo UFC 328, which is criminal. Absolutely criminal. Because they show the main and co-main that you're actually looking forward to, Strickland and Chimaev and Van Tera, and then they bring you back down to reality with the matchup that we were in the middle of in the heavyweight division. And it's just, for fuck's sake. We're back to this, 2 heavyweights that aren't actually doing anything. Sutherland on top of Tai again. Do these guys know that their career is on the line? Seriously, Sutherland is 0-2 in UFC at this point. He got finished in both fights in under 2 minutes. They cut Jailton Almeida for being boring. Tai Tuivasa, the guy who's just kind of accepted being on bottom position, you're about to be 0-7. We're back to the ground, doing nothing. They get stood up. Now Tai's on top of Sutherland as the fight ends. Truly pathetic. Sutherland wins the decision 30-26. I think there was an eye poke in there and Tui got a point taken off him. Cut both guys from the roster. Blades and Hokit actually made me feel like the heavyweight division could have a brighter future than the current timeline that we live in now. And then these two go and stink the joint out. And anyone with a brain knew that this fight was going to be bad. So why did they make it? I get short notice, whatever you're scrambling, who can we get? Who you can get is Louis Sutherland. Why make this fight? No one asked for this shit. Remove both from roster. Truly embarrassing. I hope for a day where we can move on from this kind of heavyweight. But next up, Shamil Gaziev versus Brando Pericic starts off with a trade, actually. The two just start swinging at each other before Gaziev then takes down Pericic. Pericic is able to get back to the feet, but Gaziev has Pericic in the body lock against the fence. They need to get restarted whilst on the feet. More than once, by the way, over the course of this fight. More than once they need to get restarted while still on the feet. But after the first time, they then stand in the centre and trade bombs. So see, if you weren't afraid to do that in the first place, why the fuck do you feel the need to stall up against the fence? Okay, so the two get restarted. We then start trading in the centre before Gaziev blinks first, grabs the body lock again against the fence. From the front this time, so we're not nuts to butts anymore. We are body locked up against the fence, backed up, and they have to get restarted again for the second time. We then go back to centre. We then start trading again. It turns into a slugfest. Why are we persistent on the body lock when you're not actually afraid to stand in the centre and swing? I don't understand. Both landing massive strikes as the round ends with, you guessed it, Shamil Gaziev clinching Brando against the cage. Into the second, Brando hits some low kicks, looks sharper than Gaziev, who looks a little tired coming out for the second. Brando's landing to the body, landing the jab. Shamil's still walking forward, but he's definitely taking the worst of the shots on the feet. We get a big burst from Brando, which pushes Gaziev all the way back to the other side of the fence, as he was not walking down Brando, but he was on the front foot, let's say, taking centre. They start trading again. We just sort of trade momentum back and forth. It's a kind of sloppy brawl, or clunky. We'll say clunky instead of sloppy. But with a minute left of the second, Brando rocks Gaziev and knocks him out in round 2. I cannot believe Gaziev lasted that long, because Brando definitely was getting the better of the stand-up exchanges in the second. Countless times Gaziev head is getting pushed all the way back. And yeah, Brando eventually gets it done. Nothing much more to say on this. Impressive that Gaziev was able to last that long from his head getting snapped back constantly in the second round, but nothing really to it, just kind of a clunky brawl. Next up, we get Rahiki versus Ollie Schmid. General assessment of this fight. Schmid is kind of like a heavy bag with a feint, right? He landed a fucking low kick and a jab, and otherwise Rahiki took next to no damage, got the knockout with a left hook a few minutes into the fight. Nice win for Rahiki. Schmid was a replacement, so I'm sure he'll get another chance. This was always going to be an uphill battle for him. Rahiki moves to 9-0 now, I think. Good win for him, but then again, level of competition, it'll make the highlight reel, but then again, you know, it really should have for Rahiki coming into this fight as the heavy favourite. Now, I don't know what happened here, folks. I had this whole video up and ready to go. It was supposed to be up about an hour ago. And all of a sudden, the back half of the video had no audio. And the thumbnails, or what you're seeing on the screen right now, I just make them like I make thumbnails, but they all got, it's all gone. It's all fucked. So I've had to redo the back half of this video. That is a complete pain in the arse. Please like and subscribe. Next up, we have Tim Elliott and Steve Erceg. Not gonna lie, folks, shit break. You know what it is. I wasn't paying full attention to this one, but I bet you I can still assess what happened. So the two trade momentum back and forth in round 1. I give it to Elliott. Then again, I wasn't watching. Round 2, more of the same. Round 2, also to Elliott. Again, I wasn't watching. Round 3, more of the same general trading of momentum, and third round to Elliott as well. He sweeps the fight. We go to the judges. They gave it 29-28 Erceg. What an absolute robbery. Then again, though, I wasn't watching. Semi-main event, finally, Quillan Sallkild is back. And before tonight, I was looking forward to his next fight. I'd said in previous videos, I would have liked to seen him have one more win outside of the rankings before then taking on what I called a down on his luck Dariush. Dariush was supposed to take on Torres, and I thought Beneil getting put on a shirt one more time before then taking on Quillan would have been best for everyone, except Dariush, of course, because my reasoning was that we've rushed so many prospects up in the past, and then they've ran into a vet with more experience and significantly less upside, and they've killed the hype train. They've killed these prospects, and then there's nothing to be excited about because we already know the vet's ceiling, that ceiling being filled with termites. But as we get closer to the fight, I was feeling more and more confident that Quillan would be able to get this one done. So commentary half-heartedly freak out earlier on into the matchup after Quillan dropped to a knee, saying that he was rocked. But I don't know how rocked you are when you get right back up, land a right hand, stuff a takedown, and then are fighting the hands whilst body locked against the fence. I don't know how rocked you are. But We stay against the fence for a long time. Quillan's able to break from the clinch, land a right hook on the chin of Dariush, and knocks him out. That's it, folks. I think it is time for Dariush. I think it's time for BB. Quillan Sallkild has caught and compromised to a permanent end BB Dariush. That chin has taken, what chin, right? But it has taken a beating as of late, and Quillan calls out Gamrot, so we'll see what happens with that. I don't know if that's going to be the next fight. I will save my thoughts for the, an official announcement of what Quillan's next fight's going to be. But if UFC play their cards right, they have a star in their hands here. This is great for the lightweight division. A new guy in there, a new guy in the rankings. We'll see what matchups he can get next. I don't think Gamrot is a bad matchup to make. It's another test. It's a tougher matchup than Dariush. But now that we know he can beat up Dariush, I think we would have predicted Quillan to beat up Dariush before this fight, but I think Gamrot is naturally the next step up, and we'll see if that does get announced. But our main event, the one we've all been waiting for, Jack Della Maddalena versus Carlos Prates. No touch of the gloves to start, and a bit of argy-bargy during the walkouts. Don't know what that was all about. But no gloves to start this fight, and we are underway. JDM takes the centre as Prates lands the outside calf kicks. Prates then takes the centre, and it's JDM's turn to look for the low kicks. Prates lands some more of his jabs in this round. For me, Prates took the first round. Some of his 1-2s and a knee. The knee was partially blocked by JDM, but still hurts. Prates was able to land more of the 1-2s. Even though JDM got a takedown at the end of the round, we aren't putting any stock in that. He didn't do anything after getting the takedown. There was only 20 seconds to go. The takedown was actually kind of like admitting defeat in the round. It was like, you know what, see if I can get this small win. If I can get this takedown, then at least I got a small success in this round. So this was 10-9 Prates to me, and I did actually watch this. So, you can trust my opinion here. Into the second, Prates now lands a proper knee to JDM, right on the ear. JDM then goes for a takedown and tries to take the back, but Prates is able to shake him off and get back to the feet. JDM has definitely done better this round, or at least this is what I wrote down about halfway through round 2. I was like, right, okay, this is better from JDM. But even though JDM started to grow a little into the start of the second round at least, Prates did not look flustered whatsoever. He did not look worried, hands down, picking his shots. Prates is still, I would say in the early stages of round 2, JDM took more control, but Prates doesn't feel like JDM's taking control. He definitely feels like he's in charge of this fight, and just not what you want against Prates. See when he knows he can beat you. See when he gets in there and knows, right, okay, I've got the beating of this guy, I can knock him out. Not good for you. It's done after that. And see when Prates had such a good round 1, you almost knew the writing was on the wall for JDM. But JDM definitely done better in the second round. He shoots again on Prates and presses Prates against the fence. They break. Prates lands a low kick, and then JDM lands some hands, which only really pisses off Prates and just inspires him to then land a knee and a head kick. And it looks like Prates was going to finish JDM here, but he fires back hard on Prates. This was a really good round. I enjoyed this, and it was relatively close until the end. Prates, I'll talk about the end in one sec, but with about a minute left to go, I'm writing down here, Prates takes this round. It's a close one again, but on the feet, Prates' striking was more devastating, and it looked at one point he was going to get the finish, so 10-9 Prates. But just before the end of the second round, Prates lands a low kick, calf kick on JDM, who gets knocked down and now can't walk. So at the end of the round, the horn goes, and JDM is limping back to his corner. It looks like it. Honestly, I thought they might have stopped the fight. His corner is now coping to the absolute maximum, smoking the copium. They're saying Prates is starting to tire. No, he is not. Prates is cooking right now. He nowhere near tired. Like, I can't believe the corner even tried to suggest that. Prates is, He's about to fuck you up, okay? Into the third. That's what they should have been saying. They should have been, you need to get your shit together now, or Prates is going to finish you. Into the third, JDM's able to put weight back on the compromised leg, which I was honestly shocked at, because I thought they were going to try and like sort of say, here, do you want to continue? But he came back out and he was actually able to move on the leg, but Prates is now really putting the pressure on him. He's the blood's in the water, right? The shark is approaching. JDM now shoots and gets a body lock, and Prates just shakes him off. The writing's on the wall here. Prates lands a knee, which almost looked like it dropped JDM. I think he was actually trying to shoot. It doesn't look good, because he either got kneed and then tried to shoot, or he was trying to shoot and then got kneed. It happened quite quickly. I only watched it once. It doesn't look good. It looked as though he got half slumped, and now he's cut on the eye from all these knees from Prates. Gets dropped again from a head kick, and commentary's talking over this like this is a game of golf. They are not hyped whatsoever. But Prates, see, over the piece, this is where like how we score rounds comes out, not into question, but it's like, see if you graded this round by round, it's relatively close. The second one was kind of clear, but the fight round by round was somewhat close in the first, somewhat close, although it started to edge towards Prates a little bit after he dropped him with a calf kick. But it would be like 10-9, 10-9, okay, relatively close into the third. See if you graded this over the entire like 15 or so minutes, just as like how Pride used to score fights, and you just look at the whole block over the piece. Prates is destroying JDM. Destroying him. Prates drops him with a calf kick, ground and pound. Prates wins. He hates being sober. And that's actually what's blasting over the speakers in the arena. Chief Keef, hate being sober, is blaring, and no hype from commentary, all while this is happening. The edits from this fight are going to be insane, right? This was a top tier performance from Prates. Great fight, great main event, literally silences the arena. And UFC has a real star on their hands with Carlos Prates if they play their cards right. I feel like he is, within the MMA community, a big star. He has actual potential to be like one of the top guys. His fight style, the personality, it's all coming together, and he's starting to get a lot of attention. So I'm not suggesting we help him out with matchmaking. He asked for a pretty fucking tough fight in his post-match interview. But real star potential here. Coming to a Brazil fight night main event near you soon, or maybe he's definitely put himself in title contention. Who knows? Numbered card in Brazil. It could be a Prates main event sometime. So he wants to fight the winner of Makhachev's next title defense, which I could honestly see happening. He's beaten two former champions back to back with great performances. He done so well against Leon Edwards. This was a step above that. This was definitely Prates' best performance. And I think Ian Gary will be next to fight Makhachev. It should be Islam and Elliott, but if we're not doing that, Ian Gary is probably next in line. But after that fight, Prates could be next up. That's who he asked for. Right now, I think he has more hype than Michael Morales. I think he has more fucking hype than Ian Gary as well, and people like Prates a lot more than Ian Gary. But if Ian Gary's next in line, and Prates is now in contention alongside Morales, we know who UFC is going to pick. They care about the hype. They are looking to, okay, who can we put on this promo that's going to get eyes on Paramount? They're going to pick Prates. So he definitely done himself no harm with this performance and put himself in contention for the title. That brings this card to a finished decent main event. I didn't have time to watch the prelims. You know, that's just how it goes sometimes. We had a sorry state of an opener. Tai Tuivasa, Louis Sutherland, cut both from roster. Who gives a fuck anymore? Like, seriously. The main and semi-main event delivered in a big way. Not only with the fact that it was two finishes, but there's huge potential for two stars here breaking out of this card. Big story for lightweight, getting Quillan in the rankings now. Welterweight now has another contender. UFC has a couple of stars in their hands. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, hit subscribe. We have modern MMA content. We're reviewing historical UFC events, chronologically going through both UFC and Pride. Both playlists are on the channel right now. We just reviewed Pride, Pride 8. We just reviewed Sakuraba versus the first of what will be many Gracies. And we are about to review UFC 2023, I'm sure. Randleman versus Williams for a new heavyweight champion. We will be doing content for the Ronda Gina card on Netflix soon, and of course content around UFC 328, Chimaev and Strickland. Loads of stuff in between as well. Comment your own thoughts below on this card, and I will see you all very soon.